Okay, the movie that I wanted to talk about the most is Pinocchio because everyone keeps talking about. True, thank you, bruh. I appreciate that. Everyone keeps talking about the sex trafficking thing, and and the movies and the cartoons and stuff. So I didn't know about the Pinocchio thing like that. I've never watched Pinocchio all the way through. I didn't care for Disney movies like that when I was little. It wasn't a big deal for me. Okay, so we're gonna get into Pinocchio because there's some things in Pinocchio that we need to discuss. Now, Pinocchio, the original animated movie, 1940. 1940. This is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm referring to. Okay, Jiminy Cricket was initially in the original draft, in the original version. He was killed by Pinocchio, then retrieved, and he returned as a ghost. Okay, Jiminy is Pinocchio's conscience. He was appointed by the Blue Fairy. The name Jiminy Cricket is like a chopped up oath or like a slander or for like Jesus Christ. You understand? So you just see people say, "Oh, when something goes bad, it's oh Jesus or Jesus Christ." That's what Jiminy Cricket is like. It's like Jiminy Cricket. That's what that is. It's like a minced oath to Jesus Christ. Okay, it's a euphemism for children also. This is what you refer to as children, Jiminy Crickets. All right. Jiminy tells a story of visiting a village where he stumbles upon Geppetto's cottage. The name Geppetto, let me find Geppetto. Geppetto, where are you? 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 Okay, here we go. Geppetto. It's Italian. And Geppetto, so he wears a wig and it's made of cornmeal. It looks like the color of cornmeal. And his neighbors will call him Polendina as like to make jokes of his wig because it looks like cornmeal. Okay, he's impoverished. Okay, it's a play on the word Giuseppe, which Giuseppe is Italian for Joseph. So basically, Geppetto is Joseph in Italian slang, kind of sort of. Okay, so let me get back to the story. Okay. Geppetto's a wood carver. Jiminy discovers the Pinocchio puppet after he goes into the house because he's looking for warmth because he's homeless. He's a homeless cricket. Okay, he's a homeless cricket. Now another version of Pinocchio. Jiminy was a little boy that's turned into a cricket as punishment. That was another version they discussed. Okay, Geppetto puts the finishing touches on Pinocchio. Geppetto wishes for Pinocchio to become a real boy. Geppetto makes his wish on a wishing star that night for Pinocchio. The Blue Fairy then shows up and grants Geppetto's wish. Okay. Pinocchio has to prove himself brave, truthful, and unselfish to be considered a real boy. He has to know the difference between right and wrong using his conscience. Pinocchio asks, "What's a conscience?" And Jiminy volunteers to explain to him what a consciousness is. The Blue Fairy then recommends Jiminy and knights him as such. And then he gets brand new clothes and a walking cane, okay? Or an umbrella, okay? Jiminy then tries to teach Pino, that's his nickname, to whistle or yell when he's faced with temptation, okay? Because Pinocchio doesn't know any better, right? Geppetto wakes and discovers Pinocchio. Pinocchio tells Geppetto the Blue Fairy came and that he has a conscience. Pinocchio begins playing with a candle and his finger catches on fire. Of course, Geppetto puts it out, but he doesn't know any better. Okay. Next day, Pinocchio is off to school and comes across Honest John. Honest has a plan to kidnap Pinocchio and sell him to Stromboli. Stromboli, he's a traveling showman for puppets. Okay. Honest John can't read. He holds Pinocchio's book upside down. Now, remember the last event the last major event we had where somebody was reading a book upside down? I'm going to give you a minute to figure it out. I say, do you remember the last time during a major crisis on TV you saw a person reading a book upside down? No? Bush Jr. during 9/11. Remember, he was reading a book upside down to a bunch of school children when he got the word the towers were hit. Okay. Okay, so then Pinocchio's on his way to school, and he comes across Honest John, and Honest John's like, "No, you should be in the theater because you're really good at what you're really good. You should be in the theater." Jiminy overslept, and then he sees Pinocchio with Honest John. Jimmy tells Pino Honest John is temptation, but Pino still leaves with Honest John. Later that night, Pinocchio performs for a crowd for Stromboli. Pinocchio doesn't come home that night. He's with Stromboli. Okay. Stromboli says she's face will be in every town. Pinocchio says she will. Now that threw me off. The she part. That totally threw me off. He says she will as two tears fall down his face. You have to go back and watch this movie. That scene, kind of weird. When Stromboli referred to him as she, he repeats she, and he had two tears fall down his cheek. Yes, Carrie, I watched it, girl. I watched it. Okay, and then Stromboli locks Pinocchio in a cage, and they ride off while Jiminy watches. Then Jimmy decides to wish luck. He goes back to wish Pinocchio luck. He goes into the carriage. He discovers he's being held hostage. Geppetto goes into the room looking for Pino. He sees a horse-drawn carriage, not knowing Pino is inside. The blue fairy shows up in the carriage and asks, why didn't he go to school? He lies to her about being attacked by monsters, and his nose begins to grow so long that a bird's nest forms at the end of it. She frees him, and then they escape. At the Red Lobster Inn, Honest John, Kitty, and Cochrane. Cochrane propositions Honest John to find stupid, disobedient boys for him to take to Pleasure Island. He says they never come back as boys. On the way back home, Honest John catches up to Pinocchio. Honest John convinces Pinocchio he's allergic and needs a vacation on Pleasure Island. Pino meets other boys with coachmen on their way to Pleasure Island. They set sail. Now, Pleasure Island is where it gets kind of weird. Okay. It is implied to be an illegal or extremely notorious place. There, the boys are free to do whatever they please, such as smoking, drinking, alcohol, fighting, wrecking the place, and other deeds that good children wouldn't do. Food, alcohol, and tobacco are made freely available on the island. The boys are also free of the law and any parents or cops who could stop them from being naughty. Essentially, the island is designed to be the perfect bad boys' paradise. However, once the boys have spent enough time being bad, they begin to succumb to a deadly curse that exists over the island, planted via dark magic by the coachman himself, which turns them into donkeys, making them complete jackasses of themselves and behaving like destructive animals. Now, they usually lose the ability to talk, though some donkeys, like Alexander, can still talk and then finally go on all fours. The donkeys are then rounded up by the coachman and his minions and then inspected. Those who can no longer talk are stripped of their clothes and thrown into crates and then taken back to the mainland via ferry and are finally sold by the coachman into hard labor in salt mines, at the circus, and possibly other places for money. The few donkeys who retain their voices, however, are not shipped with the others and are presumably kept by the coachman until they are to completely lose their voices or possibly disposed of to prevent them from warning other victims who come to the island. It appears the curse takes effect once the boys have committed enough bad behavior. There appears to be no way to stop once the transformation begins and appears to be permanent, as even remorse for their actions doesn't reverse the effects, and Pinocchio's donkey ears, tails, and bray and his laugh do not disappear. Okay, that's the backstory of Pleasure Island. Holy cow, am I battery dying already? Wait, bear with me, hold up. Yeah. Oh, come on, don't do this, don't do this, don't do this. Don't do this. Hold up, y'all. Technical difficulties. Technical difficulties. Shit. Okay. If you're watching me on the backup channel, if it goes dead, go to the main channel. Sorry, guys. Okay. Where we at? Needs a vacation. They set sail. They arrive. Jiminy is looking for Pino. Coachman has black figured henchmen lock the doors behind them. Pino meets a kid named Lampwick. Lampwick and Pino are playing billiards. Jiminy catches up with Pino. Disgusted by Pino's behavior, he walks away, then discovers donkeys being loaded onto ships. They're stripped of clothes and sent to the salt mines. The donkeys that can still talk are corralled. Lampwick begins to grow donkey ears and discovers he's turning into a donkey completely. Pino begins to grow donkey ears. Pino and Jiminy look for a way off the island. They jump into the ocean and swim back home. Geppetto isn't home. The house is barren. They received a message from a blue bird saying Geppetto has been swallowed by a whale. So I guess that's the Bible thing with the whale, Jonah and the whale. Okay. They go to the bottom of the ocean looking for the whale. The whale's name is Monstro. Geppetto and Figaro, the little black cat, are starving inside of Monstro the whale. Pinocchio and Jiminy manage to get swallowed and find Geppetto. Pinocchio comes up with an idea to create a fire in the belly of the whale to make Monstro sneeze. They're sneezed out, but Monstro gives chase. They escape through the other side of a cave. Pinocchio has seemingly drowned. The voice of the blue fairy speaks, and then Pinocchio becomes a real boy. Jiminy gets a gold star. The end. That was Pinocchio.